All right, the essential question of what we're going to be dealing with, it's actually the final question of the unit we've been dealing with of what are ways to express knowledge of various equations. What I want to focus on is how do you solve equations involving two variables, but more specifically than that is how do you write in slope-intercept form and graph those things. So let's just go ahead and get started. As you can see here, we have an equation written in standard form, but what we have to do first is change it to the slope-intercept form. Well, if you know the formula for slope-intercept, as we've been talking a little bit about in class, it's going to be the y equals mx plus b. And throughout this entire lesson, that's the one thing we have to keep in mind. I've got to get all of these equations in slope-intercept form before I can look at the graph and really pay attention to y-intercept. And so let's go ahead and look at this one. You've got 5x minus 3y equals negative 12. Well, if I want to get my y by itself, I've got to move something. I still have my x. It's still kind of in the way over here. So the first thing I want to do, draw my line of scrimmage. And in order to move the 5x, I've got to remember I want to move that whole thing. So I'm going to go minus 5x from this side, minus 5x from this side. Don't forget to actually write your x, because if you just put minus 5, it'd be very easy to just realize, okay, negative 12 minus 5, and make a mistake from the start there. So here, 5x minus 5x, that leaves me a negative 3y. And I do bring the negative down. I don't want to forget that and just bring 3y because, again, that's going to change everything. And over here, negative 12 minus 5x. They're not the same term. I can't combine them. So what I'm going to do, I remember my formula, y equals mx plus b. Well, I look, I see, oh, negative 5x. And it looks familiar. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of slide it into its place. Minus 5x. Because I can't do anything with it. And it takes care of that. Well, and I look at the 12. But don't forget to look at the sign in front of it. And that's a negative. Or it's going to be minus 12. So now from here, I'm just essentially just solving for y. So I'll go back over. I want to look at my negative 3y. That means I've got to actually get rid of the negative 3, but I want to keep the y. So I don't want to add 3 to each side, but I want to do the inverse of what they're doing. They're multiplying, so I've got to divide everything by negative 3. So let me go here and here and make sure it's all negative 3. And I just write the negative 3 under every term. Just makes it easier, helps keep everything in line. Nice straight columns there. So negative 3 divided by negative 3. I'm going to go y equals. Here, I notice it's a negative 5 divided by negative 3. If I divide it, it's not going to divide evenly. So for slope's sake, I want to go ahead and keep that in a fraction form because, remember, that's going to be my rise over my run. Because this is going to be my slope right here. But I do notice there's negative and a negative. So that's all it's going to do is change to a positive. 5 over 3x. And then I look, okay, the sign negative 12 divided by negative 3, that's going to give me a positive 4. 2 negatives again makes it a positive. So I know y equals 5/3 x plus 4. So now let's go back over here to our graph. What does each of these things tell me? What does this term tell me? That means my rise is going to be 5, my run is going to be 3. Well, where do I start? I have this 4 over here. That 4 represents my y-intercept. Again, the b, my y-intercept. So I can go over here and I can look at these graphs and I can say, okay, this one, whereas in the y-axis is the one vertical, up and down, and the x goes across. This one crosses at negative 2. That can't possibly be the answer. Well, then I look at b. Okay, that one crosses at 4. But let's just kind of pay attention to that one. C crosses at 4, but D, it doesn't cross at 4, so it's gone. So I know it's either going to be B or D. So I have to be able to know how to find my slope and actually how to work this. Well, the way I look at it is this. I'm going to start at my y-intercept. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to start at the 4. Alright, so as I was saying, I know my y-intercept goes across the 4. So let's look here at 4. Okay, I know my slope is 5 over 3. Well, I know, okay, each one of these is worth 2. So as I look at this, I say, okay, from 4 to 2, there's 4. 5's going to be right in here. And I've got to go over, there's 2. Okay, that could possibly be it, right? Now let's look at C as well. Okay, I go 4. When I go down, there's 2, 4, 5. Well, if I go down, in order to keep it positive, I would have to go to the left 3. Well, there's not a line even near there. And also, I can look at my slope here and know that it's a positive slope. That's a negative slope, so I know my answer has to be B. All right, let's look at one more like this, and we will look at this one. Okay, we've got x minus y equals 5. Okay, what I want you to do is go ahead, I want you to work this one first before I do. So pause the video, work this one, and see which one you come up with, and we will go from there. Alright, so let's look at this. X minus y equals 5. Well, again, I've got to remember that formula. Y equals mx plus b, or slope-intercept. So from here I know, okay, I've got to get rid of something. I've got to move that x. Again, first step, never forget, draw that line of scrimmage every time. So I'm going to move my x. I've got to go subtract x from that side. Subtract x, cancels. So now I have negative y equals. I can't combine them. So remember, I put that x where it goes first. Negative x plus 5. Well, now if I go from here, I can't leave this negative. So what I have to do is just divide everything by, and I can say either way. If I want to put the 1 in, I can. It's understood. Or I can just say negative, negative, negative. And that would be the same thing as saying negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. You're going to get the same thing. That cancels. Y equals. So now I have negative and a negative. So that's going to make that x. Then I have a positive and a negative. Positive and negative never goes well together because it ends up being negative. So minus 5. Now, whichever makes it easier for you, if you want to take and add the 1 in, because it's understood, that's fine. If you want to leave it out and really keep it y equals x minus 5, that's fine. Because what I have to look for is, I know my intercept, my y-intercept is going to go at negative 5. Well, I know there's only 2 of them that could possibly do that, and that would be A and B. So D, it doesn't cross at negative 5. That would be down here. C crosses, I think, at 0. That's not negative 5. So the only one left now is A and B. And let's see, I know it's a positive slope, right? Well, I know it has to be A, but let's test it because I'm all about the process. I want to make sure that it works. So look at negative 5. I go up 1, over 1. If I look up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, and it stays consistent. Because if it's just an x, remember, I can put anything over 1, rise over run. So my answer is going to be A. Alright, now that we've kind of come to a conclusion with the screencast, the one last thing that I will need you to do to prove that you have watched this is either tweet "Hokies are great" to @Coach TM Smith with the hashtag refuse to lose 2, or you can text it today's meet. Either way is your choice. And if you have a Twitter account, just go ahead and tweet it. Um, it's just all in good fun, but I do seriously want you to text it or tweet it that way. I do know that you've watched it, and I hope you guys have a great class tomorrow. And when I get back, if you have any questions, make sure you write them down so we can talk about it Monday in class. Um, or if you have questions tomorrow, if there's something, like I said, you can go ahead and post that to either today's meet as well, or tweet it to me. I'll get it, and as soon as I can get to it, I will answer it.